Alright guys, welcome back to Rome Reviews. I'm Rome, and today we're going to finally do our full review of the Vivo X200 Ultra, and what everything that comes with, going over the hardware, the software, and everything in between. So let's get right into it. Let's go ahead and start with the hardware build. While I do love Vivo's hardware design, and even with the the large camera module that comes on this device, I will say that for some reason I do feel more concerned about scratching this camera lens than I did with the X200 Pro. I don't know why, but I will tell you that I actually have scratched this lens once, or the cover of the lenses, and I don't feel like it has impacted the camera quality, the photo quality, the video quality, but I do notice it just because I'm obsessed with my phones and I notice every little thing about them. I have noticed I have a scratch there. I actually have in a little smaller one. It may not show up on camera, but just trust me, they are there. Moving to the front, I'm really glad that the Vivo and other Chinese companies do come with a pre-installed screen protector. I mean, I would buy one if they didn't, but I am glad that they do come with one because for some reason, and I'm not sure what's going on with this phone particularly, but I feel like I have scratched this phone up a little bit. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I've gotten too comfortable. Maybe I've gotten a little bit rougher since I handle more phones than I used to, but I do notice scratches on the screen protector. But like I said, it does have a screen protector on it, and I'm really glad about that. Um, the color on this device, particularly, I can't speak for the others, but I absolutely love this red that they went with on this phone. I've said it in a few other videos that I've done on it, but I really love it. I love how it looks, and even with the little camera accents that they have around the module, they're red there. Lovely. Um, these aluminum polished edges, really nice touch. They are curved, and I know some people prefer flat edges on their devices. I don't have a preference, honestly. I will say this phone, without a case, feels incredible in hand. Now that backside does feel a little slippery, but these side rails, even though they're polished aluminum or whatever you want to call that, whatever they call it, it does feel grippy enough to where I've never been really concerned about dropping the phone itself. Now, as far as like reaching from edge to edge, I have small hands. I'm not ashamed of that at all. I do have small hands, so I don't feel like it's hard to reach anything on the phone, especially since you have the large camera module. I kind of use it as a shelf to sit my phone on and reach certain things, and I never ever feel concerned about dropping the phone whatsoever. Even with the slightly slippery back on it, not a big deal. Moving on, the screen, very nice, really bright screen, and very large. I do love this. I think it's like 6.8. I want to say. I'll look that up and pop it up on the screen maybe. But yeah, just trust it's a very large screen. And just finishing up the outside of the device itself before I go too deep into the screen and the software. You do have a, I'm not sure what Vivo calls it, but it is a camera button. And you have a power button, and you have the volume rocker. The fingerprint reader is in screen like on most slab phones. And it's very accurate. It's actually really good. You can do it while the screen is off. Comes right on. That one took a moment for some reason. But yeah, fairly accurate. For some reason it takes a little bit longer than I feel like it has in the past. But anyway, it does work every single time. I haven't had any issues with it. And you could tell like I've gotten really comfortable with the phone to where I don't have to wait for the always on display and the little fingerprint icon. I just know where to put my finger. It's very comfortable. Like I have had a couple of phones where the fingerprint reader was like really at the bottom, like way at the bottom. That's the case on my OnePlus 13R and the Oppo Find X8 that I had. I had to sell it in order to make this device right here happen. Anyway, moving on. That's that side. Nothing on this side except for antennas. Here is a speaker or mic. I'm not sure which one, but yeah, antennas. Bottom side, SIM tray, speakers, and I'm assuming mics and a USB-C port. Back, nothing. Camera module, very large camera module, cameras, flash, symbol. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Actually, I really appreciate the design. I like what Vivo did with this phone. And the color, like once again, beautiful. I can't stress that enough. Anyway, we're gonna jump on into the software itself. And I won't spend too much time here. Well, maybe I will. Let's spend a little time here and talk about this because I get a lot of questions about different things on this device and so on and so forth. So let's touch on those a little bit. So jumping right in, we're going to talk about customization a little bit. If you pinch the screen, of course, you have your options here. Your app kit, which are the widgets as we know them. We know them in the US, but they call them Origin kits. But if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll get your app widgets, and you can see your Google apps here that you've installed. I have other videos on that, so I won't spend too much time on that. You have the mood cube here, where you have your different window styles. You have your mono, where it turns to wallpaper black and white. And keep in mind, you will notice a slight delay in some of these options as I choose them because my wallpapers are typically huge for wallpapers. So it may take a moment to apply the effect. But anyway, come back out. We're going to blur it. Come back out. You can put sky there, which is a more heavily applied effect. And you even said it may impact your battery a bit. And what that typically does is just push your current weather up there. Nothing really going on today. It's really cloudy. It hasn't really rained much, so it's not really doing much. But anyway, you have sky there. You have time. And it typically just is based on the time of day, how dark it is, and what's going on there. Go back in, turn that off. And the next piece is the icon style here. I'll say this. I've gotten a lot of questions on how do you customize your icons like you can on Apple and ColorOS. You can customize your icons, but it mostly impacts their, let me go to the screen, their shape, kind of, whether it's round or more squared. And some with their design. And it seems like it mostly impacts what should I say, Vivo's native apps. So let me take something. Let me see. Let me pop messages, the native messaging app. I'm not going to open it, but I just want to pull the icon out just so you can see it. Put it up here high enough to where you can see it. Go back to Mood Cube. So we're going to go in. We're going to change it. And you see how I changed the icon there. And this style is simple. And then you could do exquisite. And it changes it. You can see it there. And let's do this, the mellow bar, do it in the middle. See how it changes it again. And you can do mellow, change it ever so slightly. It just rounds the edges a lot more. If I go back to open, it'll open that icon up to where the inside icon, the messages icon, kind of looks like its own thing. Here, just the size, the other bar, the little slider down here, I have it on small, but you can go up to large. And you can see they get ever so slightly larger. Nothing crazy. So, and that's it. That's really the customization that you have on Vivo. Now, that is with a slight caveat. You can customize your icons only if you install a complete theme pack. You cannot customize the icon. You cannot download theme packs by themselves. I think you can. Well, I take that back slightly, and it's really a hassle. And I've made a video on that. You can download theme packs from the Google Play Store, but the process you have to go through to get those icons. I would say the Play Store, the apps that they put in the Play Store to get icon packs is greedy, and I just once I started digging into it and trying to make it work, I lost interest and I just backed all the way out. It was just too much. You download it and you have to download every single icon by itself on some apps, and you have to watch ads and ads and ads, or you can buy them and so on and so forth. It's a hassle. So I didn't get involved. I didn't dig too deep into that. But like I said, you can download from the V App Store. No, not V App Store. I think it's called the iTheme. Let's go in here real quick. Themes, more theme styles, and it is called just the themes app. And what you can do, you'll see at the top. So I want to show you just to prove to you guys that I'm just not making this up. If you scroll across the top, you can see kits, you can see fonts, ringtones, video call ringtones, wallpaper, ringtones, kits, fonts, ringtone, video call, wallpapers, live wallpapers, always on displays, input method. That's it. You don't see icon packs by themselves like you would on some of the other operating systems that they put on these phones. So yeah, so the input method is just keyboards, as you can see. So that's it. That's really it. Now I will, just to show you guys really quickly. Let's go over here to themes. If I were to click on a theme, what's going on with the store? It's acting weird. Anyway, if I click on a theme, let's see if it'll show up. So that's another thing. With the native store on these on the Vivo X200, I noticed that it behaves weirdly. I didn't have this issue with the X200 Pro, but it has become an issue on here. But anyway, we're gonna keep going. Let's see if we scroll. So you see the icons there? It kind of showed them, but let's keep going. Okay, there you go. So you see the icon pack that comes with this theme. If you apply the theme, it applies to the icons. And another thing, the App Store, it says get for free, but you have to go in and dig and redeem coins, watch ads, install apps, let them run for 15 seconds or whatever time they want you to just have the app open. And then they give you this currency that you could use to then buy the app pack for free after you do some work. I don't like getting involved in it. I really like Xiaomi's method that they use in their store, where if it says free, it's free. You don't have to do any additional work. You just click on it, it's free. You download it, apply it. That's it. I don't know what Vivo is doing with this, but it is some work. Even though it says it's free, you do have to do some work, install apps, and do all this other stuff. Anyway, moving on. That's really it. I can't go in. You know what? Let's do one more thing. I'm going to go in, you know what, let's go this way. And I'm going to go to home screen, lock screen. And you do have some customization options here. You have your wallpapers, the native things that come on the phone. And it's fine. You could even apply short videos and stuff to your wallpaper. Now, they will not start over or keep playing, like replaying. Once it plays to the end of the video on that wallpaper, it just stops there and becomes static until you turn the phone off or turn the screen off and then turn it back on to refresh it. Always on display, limited. So it's weird because it feels like it has a lot of options and not a lot at the same time. But you can go download more, which is beauty. But you fall into the same trap where you have to watch ads, or download apps and let them play to get the coin for free if it says free, so on and so forth. Same trap. Yeah, something's going on with the App Store, the theme store on this phone. I have no idea what's going on with that, but you see it just completely freaked out. I'm hoping Vivo fixes that in a future update. But anyway, we're just going to keep rolling. So you have quite a few always on display options here. So that's the customization, and you know what? Let's go back in and talk a little bit more about it, because you do have a few options. I won't completely just belittle what they've done here. So you have quite a few always on display options here in a few different categories. And if I go back, I did wallpapers, and we'll do lock screen. And you can do a lock screen poster, which, let me see if I have that turned. I have it turned off. So what that is this. Turn on the lock screen. And if you swipe right, it'll just take you through different posters that they just send to your phone. I think these do rely on the internet, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But let's see, if I swipe up for more, I don't know what that did. But anyway, yeah, you can see it refreshes there. And you can just swipe. I mean, and they have some really nice options there. So, like I said, nice. I do have that turned off because I just want to see my wallpaper. So let's go back in. Go to lock screen. Let's go to lock screen posters. Turn those off. And now I get my lock screen back. So festival lock screen. So any Chinese holidays, I actually like those a lot. So any Chinese holidays that may be happening at the moment, what they'll do is they'll pop those up on your lock screen and they just kind of take over your lock screen for that day or for that week or however long that holiday is, which I really like those. I like learning about other cultures and stuff like that. But you guys have the option to turn them on and off. Let's keep moving. Change lock screen wallpaper based on theme. If you apply a theme, it applies it through your phone, always on display. Sometimes, if it comes with that, lock screen, home screen. That's all that means. If you don't want that to change your lock screen based on the theme, just turn it off. Show Origin Player on lock screen. I don't use the Origin Player, so I turn it off. I should have had it off anyway. And that's really, and then you have icons here. We basically went over this with the mood cube, but it's the same options: minimal, exquisite, open to mellow, small to large. Show icon name, redraw icon. Just, I mean, those are the only options. You don't have the really, really packed options that you have on your Oppos or OnePlus, where you can just completely customize the shape of the icon, apply your wallpaper theme colors to it, just so on and so forth like that. You don't have a lot of options here when it comes to icons. So that's really that as far as customization goes. Not a ton of options, but you have a lot. It's weird. It's a weird middle ground where you can do a lot, but some of the things are lacking for some of the people out there that are used to being able to apply the wallpaper theme to their icons and stuff like that. So that's that. I'm going to let's touch on performance. Let's go ahead and touch on performance a little bit. So I haven't noticed any real hiccups here as far as the phone itself goes. Now, like I said before, when it comes to themes in the theme store, I have no idea what's going on with that. I did not have an issue on my Vivo X200 Pro. This seems to be something going on with the X200 now. It's working now. It's loaded. Things seem to be popping in just fine. I actually like them a lot, but not enough to go through the trouble of downloading and installing apps and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, as far as performance goes, works fine. Even when I'm charging the phone, it doesn't really get that warm. Now, if I were to crank it up and turn on, let's see, here we go, battery health and charging, I believe it is. And I think, let's see, super fast by default. I don't have that turned on just because I don't need to super fast charge my phone. I work from home. I don't go out a ton. I go out every now and then, but normally my battery is at a decent percentage. So yeah, yeah. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, the performance is, I mean, pretty decent. I did install Wuthering Waves. If you guys want to see a more in-depth video on that and how it behaves on the phone, I can do that. I won't spend too much time on gaming itself right now during this video, but just know the phone gets warm, but not uncomfortable to hold by any means. It's kicking out a lot, and the game itself runs really well. If I were to fire it up right now, I'm sure it's gonna have some ridiculous update. This game updates constantly, which as a gamer you would love that they're keeping it up to date and constantly adding content. But these shaders and stuff like that takes forever to me. So yeah, you see it has an update. It's gonna download and install that, so on and so forth. And I just played this game a couple days ago. So anyway, I'll come back to that another time. That's gaming. Yeah, so just overall performance is really nice on this phone. It works really well. I haven't noticed any freezing. And yeah. So what I'll do now is, I guess I'll transition to sound and how it works with headphones and stuff like that. Now, that's another one that if you want, I'm going to be pumping out videos based on you guys' requests. So I will do some of these in their own segment, like just their own entirely own videos. So anyway, moving on. As far as sound goes on this device, I feel like this device has really solid sound. Actually, let's do this. I'm going to find some non-DMCA music so I can play for you guys really quickly and just let you hear it. It does these speakers do get crazy loud. I feel like they get louder than the X200 Pro. I wish I still had that phone to compare side by side, but it gets crazy loud. But anyway, one moment. This is just halfway. All right, so while I do like the speakers, I don't really use phone speakers for anything. I'm always wearing headphones or something like that when it comes to sound because I really want really good sound. So I'm not gonna beat up on phones. Like I just I don't care isn't enough to beat up on the phone. But I will say this: these speakers get crazy loud, and my son is a really loud kid. Like I'm sure most kids are. And if I crank this thing up like halfway, maybe if he's being crazy loud, TV's going three quarters, maybe if I just really want to hear what's going on, and I can hear this phone really well without cranking it all the way to max volume. So that's not an issue here. Bass on this device is it's okay. You could tell that there's a little thump there, but nothing crazy. I do feel like the Xiaomi 15 Ultra does have fuller bass on it, but this one's perfectly fine. It's not bad. I wouldn't say this is bad at all. Yeah, and as far as like audio on headphones go, I tried it with the Pixel Buds, and I tried it with the OnePlus Nord Pros or whatever that long name is, and it works really well with those two. I'm able to use the capacitive touch commands on each of them, where you double tap to go to the next track and things like that. And actually, I think I may still have a set connected. Let me go to Bluetooth. Yep, OnePlus Nord Buzz 3 Pro. Oh my goodness, that's a name. And you can see where you have your different features in here. And what happened is, once I fully power those things on, they're in my car right now, but it'll give you even more options. You see high quality audio popped up, AAC is in use, so on and so forth. So you have some options to manage them in here, and if you want to go a step further, you can install the OnePlus app or whatever. But this is enough for me. I could turn this stuff on and off and manage them from there. And like I said, use that touch capacitive options on the earbuds themselves to go to the next track or start the track over and so on and so forth. So it works really well, and the audio is really good. It even gives you the warning on the phone. I don't know if that's a warning from the device, this phone itself, or from the earbuds that require that. But if you turn it up to a certain point, it'll tell you, hey, if you go past this point, you could damage your ears, so on and so forth. So, yeah, audio is really good. I feel like it's solid. It gets the job done. Gets plenty loud. Yeah. And earbuds work just fine. They connect easily. No issues there. And the connection is really solid. I sit this phone down when when I'm working out in the gym. I'll go down to the bathroom or something, or to the locker room, or just to get some water or something. And my earbuds stay connected very well. So no issues here. But speaking of connections, because I know there are people that are really interested in it. You see, Android Auto is here. And I will say that it works very well for Android Auto. I'm not going to blame this phone for how Android Auto behaves in my car, because I've noticed it across the board in all of the different phones that I have that have Android Auto. Android Auto will work beautifully sometimes. Other times, it's just weird. So I think Android Auto is a really resource heavy application, but I will say that this phone, for the most part, I would say a good 80 to 90% of the time, it works really well. And sometimes it just behaves oddly where it won't even connect to the car. And I don't know if that's my car or Android Auto, but I'm not blaming this phone by any means. So let's move on. And let's go ahead and touch on haptics a little bit. Let's go to haptics. And you can see I have haptic strength turned up. And here's what I'll say. I do have soft turned on, so they give you a little, a little freedom to manage haptics on this phone. What I'll do is I'll go back here to YouTube, and you can tell, like, since I have soft on, I know it's not picking it up on the camera, but I'm just trying to get a feel for it right now so I can talk about it. It does feel soft. So what I'll do is let's go back in here. And let's go back, and I'm going to turn on crisp, and let's see what that's like. It feels sharper. It feels almost like a mechanical keyboard, almost, but the vibration feels solid, really solid. But I will say this: in the daytime, so I have this weird relationship with haptics on phones and vibrations and stuff like that. Um, when I'm paying attention to it, I notice it. And when I'm not, like, if I get a vibration or something that's just sitting in my pocket and I'm not paying attention to it, I feel like I miss it, and it's weird. And I feel like that's not just a Vivo thing. I feel like it's just phones overall sitting in my pocket, and I really want to feel that vibration, but I've had phones in the past where it has like this ridiculous vibration motor in it, really strong, and when it's sitting on the desktop, it vibrates across the desk. I feel like I had that issue with my Samsung; it'll vibrate across the desk, and I don't want that. But what I really wish, and then I'll sum up the haptic piece of this. I really wish that smartphone or phone companies would make it to where the device could tell what kind of environment you're in and how strongly to vibrate to get your attention. And also to take it one step further, I know I may be asking for the ridiculous stuff, but also be able to tell what kind of surface you're on, and to be able to know like how to vibrate. Like this sitting on the desk right now, it won't vibrate insanely hard to get across the desk. But if it's like in your pocket where you may not feel it, maybe get stronger so you can feel it. Shake your thigh, shake my thigh so I can know my phone is so I can know that I got a notification. But just things I wish. But as far as haptics go on this phone, I feel like they're good. I don't feel like they feel cheap, if that's a way to put it. They don't feel cheap. The motor feels solid, especially since I've switched it over to crisp now. Um, and so like I said, once again, and then I'm summing this up. I'm wrap it up. When I'm laying in bed at night and it's just dead silent in the house, I feel like my phone vibrates too loud and you can hear it like. So once again, know my environment, know how heavily to vibrate, how heavily to kick in. But anyway, these are solid. I feel like they're well done to me. Not amazing by any means, especially for an ultra device. Now, I'm not gonna let them slide because this is an ultra device. I feel like they should feel, much better. Not much, but just better. But these are solid. You can feel, you can tell, and for me to have the haptic strength turned up high, it doesn't feel high like I'm getting crazy vibrations. It feels okay. Like I said, not bad, but could be better, especially for an ultra device. Anyway, moving on. All right, so we've talked about hardware, software, customization, performance, haptics, Android Auto. I mean, so much to cover in this phone. So I guess what I will talk about last is the camera, which is the main reason you buy an ultra device. And what I'll say is, while this thing is packed with options, um, and they make sense. The camera interface makes sense for to me now, and that maybe just because I've used a couple of Vivos at this point. But I know where to tap. I know where to go to change certain settings and things like that. Like if I turn it around and I go up here to 4K, I get all my options. You got 1080p, 3060, 4K, 3060, 120, 8K, 30 FPS. Now, you got your Dolby Vision here. You can turn it on and off with the tap of a button. And thanks to the gracious people in my comments that leave comments on my videos to educate me. I really appreciate you guys. I'll say that. But what I want to do is, you see how when I get to a certain distance on the desk, you have your regular macro. And then you have your super macro up here at the top. If I tap that, it'll tell me move further away. And that kind of brings me to the macro piece of this camera software. I feel like it's really weird, but I feel like I could get closer to objects on my X200 Pro than I can on my X200 Ultra. If anybody has any tips around that, because I love macro shots now that I've experienced the Vivo X200 macro shot, macro features on this phone, I really love them now. So if you can tell me how I can get closer to objects without it telling me to move further away, I would absolutely adore you. But anyway, moving forward. Another thing I want to talk about, let's turn that off. I did get a question about zoom, where you could zoom much further out, and they've seen it in videos where you could, and I've seen it in videos where you could zoom all the way out to like up to 100 times, 200 times and stuff like that. I have not found that on this phone. And I'll do it real quick. We're not going to see anything, but you see it just goes up to 70 times. I have no idea what that's about, but I feel like I've seen videos, and I may be going crazy, but I've seen videos go past 70 times. I don't know what happened. I don't know if there was a software update where they changed that, but it's really weird. If I go to portrait, I can go up to 4 times. Photo, 70 times. Video, 13.4. Portrait, 2.5. Let's see if there are any other modes here. Let's see if I switch to stage. Got it. Yep. 70. So I don't know what changed between the videos I've potentially seen, and maybe I'm having some type of memory lapse or something. Maybe I imagined it, but I feel like I've seen this camera go up to 100 times, 200 times. Now I wonder if they may have updated it and hid it behind this telephoto extender option or something like that. You know, there may be something that they did. Now, since I don't have the telephoto extender on here, confirming enter mode, you see how it goes up? So maybe that's what they did. And I mean, not saying that I am upset about it, but it's something that I noticed, especially, and it seems like some of you guys have noticed as well in the comments. So, yep, you're not crazy. I feel like it was there before and I've seen it in videos, but I haven't experienced it since I got this phone. What I'll do is, you see, I've gone over these options before in a previous video, so I won't spend too much time on these. But you have, this thing is packed with options, and I absolutely love that, because when you buy, for people that are buying an Ultra device, they're buying it for the camera, they're buying it for the features, the options that they have in here. So you have your snapshot mode here, and you can just go to snapshot mode, and it's just packed. And once you get really comfortable with it, everything just starts to flow, and it's so good. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and look at some of the photos, and then I'll see you guys back here in just a moment. All right. can't see it while I'm out here, but it looks like they actually fixed the glare issue. Ah, I'm gonna test it some more, but yeah, it looked much better. Pointing directly at the sun too. All right, so now that you guys have looked at those photos, I will say this. While I love, you know what? I won't even phrase it that way. I love Vivo X200's colors, but I do feel like this thing does not put out natural colors. I love the colors that it puts out, but for those of you who just want to capture the scene as it is with no color signs, no crazy color signs, like heavy color applied to it, the Vivo may not be for you. You may want to lean more towards the Xiaomi as opposed to the Vivo. But for me, the Vivo color signs just has this, it has something. And it just makes me absolutely love it. I just really thoroughly love the camera on this phone. The color signs and how they apply their colors to this device just makes me just it works for me. But like I said, for those of you who just want to capture the scene as it is, no additional punchy colors or anything like that, the Xiaomi may be for you. And I've really done I've compared them in my personal life. I'm still working on a video, but yeah. So you guys can see those photos side by side and judge for yourselves. But anyway, won't spend too much time here. Cameras, the photos come out, they're really crisp, and just I really love Vivo's color science. This phone, I almost have to, no matter what phone I'm using, I almost have to have this phone in my pocket just for the camera. I'll see something, I'll be like, I wish I had that Vivo with me. The times that I leave it at home, and I'll be like, But anyway, camera's amazing. I don't think you guys will be disappointed. You could point this thing and just shoot, and it'll get the job done every single time, almost every single time. I mean, of course, there are times like when things are in motion and you may miss it and have to. I mean, but that's the case with any phone. For the most part, you point and shoot and it may not capture what you were expecting to see. It might be blurry or something. My son's a little whirlwind, and sometimes I wish I can get photos of him and I forget to switch to snapshot mode. Snapshot mode is great if you have kids or animals and stuff like that. It really works. Really, it can really freeze a scene. So I have a lot of respect for what they did there. But anyway, this has been the full review of the Vivo X200 Ultra. What I'll say is I recommend this device, but there are some drawbacks when it comes to the device itself. And those drawbacks comes in the form of customization options are there, but when it comes to customizing your icons separately from others pieces of the theme, let's say, it's not really abundant. You really have to heavily rely on themes and stuff like that to impact how your icons look. The camera module, large, but I don't notice it in my pocket by any means. And like I said, that could be because of me and how many phones I always carry, and I've dealt with larger phones, foldables and stuff like that, so it may not bother me. It may bother you, but I don't think it will. I really don't. As I grab the module. I like doing that. But anyway, the only other thing is, you know what? I'm going to wrap this up, but let's switch back to the overhead really quickly because I want to talk about this. And I just remembered it. The battery. The battery on this phone, I feel like is odd because I feel like this battery drains quicker than my Xiaomi 15 Ultra and my OnePlus 13R and my Oppo Find X8. For this to be an Ultra device with a 6,000 milliamp hour battery, I feel like Vivo needs to do some refinements, some improvements to their OS, because I really feel like it's their OS that's draining the battery, and for them to make you have to do so much work to get notifications and stuff on this device, it feels like the battery should hold up better than what it does. Now, the only reason the battery draining so quickly doesn't bother me, which to be fair, I feel like I get a full day But for a 6,000 milliamp hour battery, I feel like I should get like a day and a half or more, like I do with my Xiaomi 15 Ultra. But the only reason that doesn't bother me in a crazy way is that even though I don't have the super fast charging on, this phone still charges super fast. Whereas in comparison, the Xiaomi 15 Ultra does not. That phone charges slowly to me, and I don't know what that's about. But anyway, that's for another day. This phone charges really fast, so the battery draining quicker doesn't bother me as much. But anyway, back to wrapping this up. Back over to the other camera. I can easily recommend this device to others. Now, with the price being the way it is, I still feel like I recommend this device if you really want the latest hardware and everything. But I can say confidently, even though I haven't really experienced the device, just seeing the praises online and stuff like that, I feel like you can get the X100 Ultra and still be really, really, really happy with that device. But yeah, as far as the X200 Ultra goes, solid device. Battery is weird sometimes when like I said, it drains kind of quickly. Software is good outside of the slight limitations to customization. Android Auto works. Your different earbuds work. I'm still working on trying to get Wear OS devices to work on this device, but I haven't found anything yet, but I'm working on it. For those of you who may have noticed the Wear OS icon app on my device, that's why it's there, because I'm testing things, trying to see if I can get it to work. And if I do, I will pop that video out as soon as I can. Software is good, hardware is good, feels great in the hand, comes with a screen protector. You may want to get a case to protect the camera module because I haven't gotten a scratch on it or whatever. It hasn't impacted camera performance or the result of pictures and videos that come out of here, but just be aware that you can scratch this thing. Other than that, no complaints. Love the device, love the cameras, I enjoy the software. Easy recommend for those of you with the latest software. And if any of you guys have the camera lens kit, feel free to drop a comment down below because I'm interested in your experience with that hardware and how well it performs when you're out and about. If I can get one day, I will do that, but we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. I just haven't been able to justify it in my mind because I'll probably use it once or twice just for review purposes, and I probably won't carry it around because it is bulky. I mean, that's an actual lens. So anyway, appreciate you guys tuning in and hanging out with me for this full Vivo X200 Ultra review. If you like what you saw, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. It helps. It goes a long way. And I will see you guys in the next one. Later.